Okay guys, we've explored the breadboard and its connections, and now we're ready to go with lab 2. We're going to use the Tinkercad Introducing the Breadboard Skill Builder tutorial to generate a circuit, and then we're going to wire that up on our breadboard. So following the link on the Canvas page, come to this site here. You're going to have a breadboard out on the page. You have these instructions out here on the left side. We're pretty much going to follow these instructions verbatim as we build our circuit, and we learn some of the basic aspects of Tinkercad. So in getting going here, the very first thing that you're going to need to do is you follow directions. We're going to build this circuit out here. So I'm going to click next here. We're going to need to add a battery to our circuit. So out in the basic components, go ahead and just type 9-volt battery. There's your battery. Bring it out onto the screen. Use the letter R. That's going to rotate your battery. Again, the R command rotates your battery. We're going to drop the battery down on the bus line. Okay, now I want to zoom in on that just so you can see what's going on here. The positive lead of my battery is connected to the positive power bus, and the negative lead of my battery is connected to the negative power bus. So what that's doing is that is providing power to this entire column right here. Anything I take off of that is connecting either into the positive or into the negative. Now what we're going to have on our circuit is a switch. So I'm going to type switch here. We have actually 3 push button switches that are going to be used. I'm going to just pull one out here on the screen for right now. Okay, let me pan out. I'm holding my mouse wheel down and I'm pulling to make that pan action. Okay, my switch actually doesn't fit in its current orientation across the divide. And that's because of the nature of these types of switches. We're going to rotate this switch 90 degrees. And now I'm going to drop it into row 1. Column E is my first terminal. And its connecting terminal is just below that. Notice this is terminal 1A. This is terminal 2A. The A terminals connect when the switch is pushed, and the B terminals connect when the switch is pushed. The 1 terminals do not connect. They're not connected there. So we have our switch in here. Now we need a load. We need something to actually power, and that's going to be an RGB, a red, green, blue LED. So I type RGB, and there's my red, green, blue LED. Okay, now what this is, light emitting diode. It has a red anode, it has a blue anode, and a green anode. And then there's a common terminal, or the negative, known as the cathode here. So essentially we can have 3 independent circuits, and the LED is going to change different colors. Or I could power all 3 circuits at the same time, and then I could create different mixed colors based on the intensity of the current moving through each of those anodes. So selecting that, I'm going to use again the letter R. I want to rotate this around, and we want the red terminal to be in 13E. I'm going to zoom in on this a little bit. So we want to drop it down 1. 13E is getting that terminal. Now let's build our circuit. So from the positive bus line, we're going to run a wire into that first row, row 1. We'll make this wire blue, just to follow along with our guidelines over here. Then we're going to take a wire and connect that up to the anode, the red anode side of the diode. So what I've done is I've taken a wire from the second terminal there, the 3rd row, row 3. I've dropped that down to my anode, row 13. I'm going to make that a red wire, just because I know that's going to make this light red, this LED red. Now my cathode needs to complete the circuit. So the negative needs to go to the negative bus line over here. So I just click on the row, pull across, drag a wire there. That wire is going to be black. And essentially here I have a very simple circuit. I'm going to start the simulation. And if I push the button here, look at that, my red LED lights up. But I don't know if you guys saw it, it's excessively bright. So in order to correct that problem and to follow the directions in here, we're going to stop the simulation. I'm actually going to move this wire. For right now, I'm going to delete that wire. And what we're going to do is drop a resistor in here. We don't want it to be too bright. We don't want to blow the LED. The LED only functions at 5 volts. We're throwing 9 volts at it. So we need to place a resistor in here. I'm going to type resistor. Oops. Lost my... let's stop our simulation there. And let's get our component. All right, sorry about that. Picking up where we left off, we're going to type resistor in here, R-E-S. And there's resistor right there. I'm going to drop a resistor out on the board, and that resistor is going to go in this space from the cathode. It's going to drop down here to row 18, so from 14 to 18. Now notice this allows me to specify the value of that resistor, and I believe they're asking us to make this a 470 ohm resistor. So I type 470. I'm going to drop that down and make that 470 ohms. The color code is going to change appropriately. You'll have a lesson on resistor color code also within this learning module. Now we're going to finish our circuit with that black wire. And notice this time when we run our simulation, you'll notice the intensity of the bulb, of the LED, isn't quite as bright. So here we go. We push the button, and it doesn't have that excessively bright illumination there. So that means we've got it at a safe value. Okay, that is one circuit with a power source, a pathway made of the protoboard connectors, the wire. We have a control switch, and we have a load. We actually have 2 loads, being the resistor, which is actually dropping the voltage to be an acceptable value for the RGB LED that's out here. What you are going to do is you're going to pick up from here. You're going to follow the instructions, and you're going to put the rest of the switches in here. So you're actually going to be right here. That's the first switch. That's where we are. We're going to add 2 more switches. You're going to do slide 5, slide 6, follow those directions, and then we're going to build this circuit up on a protoboard and watch it work. Have fun doing it, and be safe.